Hi guys, have you ever seen this design or this design on your Pinterest board and you wonder how do they make this dress, or you feel like no, I'm not gonna try this because it's complicated? Worry no more. In this tutorial I'll be taking you through the pattern making step by step, very detailed tutorial on how to make a front twist dress design. If it's something you'd like to learn, please stick around and let's get to it. So guys, for this tutorial I'll be needing my paper scissors, my marker, my rulers, the straight and the curved ruler, my tape measure, my sellotape. And for fabric, I'll be using this sequin fabric. It's very nice and stretchy, and also as well as my stretch lining. The first thing I'll be doing is to draw my top line. Then I'll insert my vertical measurements. So I'll start with shoulder to bust, which is 11 inches. Then shoulder to under bust, which is 14 inches. Then shoulder to waist, which is 17.5. Then waist to hip, 8.5 inches. Then I would connect that with a straight ruler. I'll connect those dots with a straight ruler. Now to the first line, I will divide my shoulder by 2, which is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. I would mark that, and I'll go down from that line by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Now to get your chest line, you would divide your bust by 6 plus 1.5, and you measure it from the shoulder slope to get your chest line. Now on that chest line, you would also insert 7 inches, that is your shoulder divided by 2. Then you connect it like that. Perfect. Now my neck width, I'll be using 3 inches, and for my neck depth I'll be using 7 inches. So it depends on you, whatever measurement is fine, please go ahead. Then I'll connect from that neck width to the shoulder slope. Now on the chest line, you're going to insert your bust divided by 4, then you also add 1 inch seam allowance. Perfect. Now I would label those lines: my chest line, bust line, under bust line, waist line, and hip line. So whatever I have on my chest line, I would mark it on my bust line. Now for my waist, I would divide my waist measurement by 4 and add 1 inch seam allowance. But I would advise you to add about 2 to 2.5 inches, because when you make the twist, it always takes away from your waist circumference. So I would advise to use 2 inches extra seam allowance. Now on the hip, I would mark hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch for the seam allowance. And I want you to look closely the way I would connect my hip line, just with the slightly curved part of my ruler, not the curvy part. Now for the bust dart, I'll be using 1.5 inches, then I'll connect it to my bust span. So my bust span is 4 inches, that is my bust band divided by 2, which is 4 inches. Then I would connect that as a bust dart. Now I want this to be a long dress, not too long, but yeah, just there by my ankle. So I use 43 inches, but if you want it longer, you can use 43 to 46. Depends on how tall you are. I'm a very tall person, and 43 was not too long. It was just there by my ankle when I wore heels. So yeah. So I would measure my waist to knee, which I'll be using 21 inches. So I want this to be like a mermaid silhouette. So you can do that as a pencil silhouette or a mermaid silhouette. You don't have to do a mermaid silhouette. So whatever I have on my hip, I would subtract 2 inches or 2.5. Depends on how fitted you want on the knee. But I would advise, if it's very fitted on the knee, it looks very flattering. It's so good and it's so nice. So now I'll connect that to the hip line. Then on the hemline, I would measure what I have on the knee line. I would mark it on the full length line or on the hem line. You can connect it if you want a straight silhouette, but if you want a mermaid silhouette, you can add 2.5 inches to that 9 inches. So if you want it more full, like more mermaidy, you can add 3 to 5 inches if you want that fullness of your mermaid. So now from the hem, I would come up by half an inch. Then I'll connect that to have like a circle, like a kind of a round hem. So I'll cut my pattern out. Remember, I already add my seam allowance. Please add your seam allowance. So you're going to add extra seam allowance on the shoulder and on the neck. So now I will just measure where I want my slit to stop. So I want my slit to stop about 20.5 inches. So it depends on how open you want it to be. You can also make it higher or lower, but I think your knee line can be a best option. So now to the best part, tricky part, but to my opinion, if you practice more, you'll get it. So now I divided my waist measurement into sections. Then I'll connect it to the rest of the body, as you can see, connecting it with lines. So guys, the more lines, the more volume, and the more volume, the better. So you close your bust dart to continue ruling more lines. So now we are done with the top part of the body. So now I'm going to divide my side seam into sections of 1.5 inches, as you can see. Then I'll connect that line one by one to the top part of the body, as you can see. It's very easy, guys. This is the fun part. So now it's time to cut and slash and spread. So now to slash this, you can do from 2.5 inches to 5 inches. It depends on how much fabric you have. So when you're slashing, make sure you slash to the end, almost to the end, like 0.2 to the end of the paper. So now you take a fresh pattern paper so that we can spread it to get volume for the design we are going for. So just watch and learn. As you can see, I'm placing the top part of the body, and I would tape it first, then I would measure my spread. So I'm using 2.5 inches. So I'm spreading them by 2.5 inches, and I tape it, spread it, measure, tape, and spread, measure, tape, and spread it, and that is it. Very easy, guys. I promise you guys, this was the first time I was trying this, and it came out well, just the first try. Good, so we are done spreading the top part of the body and the bottom part of the body. So now I'll rule a straight line at the middle, then I'll connect that to the top part and the bottom part, just like as you see in the video. Are you gonna try this? Let me know in the comment section if you're gonna try this, and tell me if you learned something. Let me know if you learned something from this video. And guys, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That will go a long way for me. Thank you so much. So guys, just cut out your pattern and you are done with the front part of the body. How easy guys, look at that. You just created a front twist mermaid dress. Perfect. Now to the back of the dress, I would start with my vertical measurement. I would mark my shoulder to bust, then shoulder to waist, which is 16 inches. Do you know why it's 16 inches? Because of my bust that I used 17.5 inches for the front waist, and for the back waist I'd use 16 inches because I use 1.5 for the darts. So 17.5 minus 1.5 is 16 inches. So that is why I used 16 inches for the back length. So now I'll just connect my dot with the straight ruler, and I would be marking my shoulder measurement, that is 7, then coming down by 1 inch. Then I would mark my chest line, which is 7.5 from the shoulder slope. Don't forget guys, not from the top line, from the shoulder slope. Now for the neck width, I'll be using 3 inches. Then for the depth, I'll be using 10 inches. I want to have a deep v-neck, not really deep, but yes, I want that deep v-neck. I love it. It's so nice. I love v-neck. And guys, another advice I would give you is for your v-neck is to add darts, just to add a bit of dart so that it does not gape. I forgot to add it to the video. I'm sorry. Please add that so that it does not gape, just to remove 1 centimeter from the neck so that it does not gape when you wear it. So for my waist, I would mark my waist circumference divided by 4, then I would add 1 inch for seam allowance. Now connect your chest to your waist, and that is your side seam. Now on the hip, I would measure and mark hip divided by 4, and also don't forget to add your 1 inch seam allowance. So to avoid zip bulge, you go in from your waist by 0.5 so that it gives you that nice curved shape on the zip on the center back, so it doesn't have that bulky on the center back. Please do this. I also marked my waist to knee and my waist to length, which is 43 inches. Do not forget. So I forgot to add the 1 inch on my hip, so now I'm adding it. 1 inch seam allowance. So now let's connect that line. I love this mermaid silhouette because it's not really a big mermaid, but it's so nice. I just love that it's simple, not too much fullness on the mermaid, but it's cute. So don't forget to add your zip allowance. I did not add the zipper allowance on this pattern paper. You add your zipper allowance, add your armhole allowance, your shoulder allowance, and also your neckline. And guys, you are done. Very easy. Where can you wear this dress to? A dinner, a date, an event, something very cute. Now let's draft the sleeves. The first thing I did was to draw my top line. Then I would mark my sleeve length. My sleeve length is 23 inches. I would mark 23 inches and also 24 inches for hem allowance. I'll connect that with a straight ruler. Now I would mark shoulder to bicep line. You can use 3.5 inches to 4 inches for this bicep line. That is the best bicep depth. So now shoulder to elbow line, that was 15 inches for me. Then I would mark my bicep circumference divided by 2. Then I would add 1 inch for seam allowance. Then my elbow divided by 2, I would mark that plus 1 inch seam allowance. My wrist divided by 2 plus 1 inch seam allowance. Then I'll connect that. And as you can see on the M, I do not connect it straight, but I will connect it slant. We do that so that we do not fall short when we are joining our sleeve. When we are hemming the sleeve, When we are hemming the sleeve, we do not want to fall short. That is why I made it slant. Just 1 centimeter away from the normal straight one. So just go 1 centimeter and slant it. So now that is it for the sleeve, guys. You are done. You're done. We covered the front pattern, the back pattern, and the sleeve. If you learned something from this tutorial, don't forget to like, let me know in the comment section, and subscribe.